Welcome to the Short Marketing Show, where we get insights from professionals who've experienced success in building credibility, driving sales, and creating awareness so that you can do the same. In this episode, Justin and Blaine sit down with Rose Gleichowski from Impact Weight Management to discuss how her team empowers customers to be an extension of their sales and marketing efforts. Word-of-mouth marketing is vital to growing both local and national companies. Take a listen to find out for yourself how to implement this cost-effective strategy that can bring huge returns.
Rose, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, tell us a little bit about yourself and Impact Weight Management.
Yeah, so Impact opened 11 years ago with not really understanding where we were going to grow and how big we were going to be. But our goal is really just to build a healthier community, one person at a time. And we have this unique service that really nobody else offers. So that's something that we have just morphed into something really, really special and really unique that you can't get anywhere else. So we're a group of health coaches. People primarily hire us because they want to lose weight. They want to get healthier. Maybe they need to change their blood work. And we do a one-on-one service with them. Gotcha.
Why did you start Impact Weight Management, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, no. Losing my headphones here. It was totally... I had a personal changeover, grabbed my husband and my family on board with that and found somebody else that was doing this sort of service in Tampa. And I said, you know what? That's what I want to do. I want to help people. And so I just opened up a small little office and planned on helping people on nights and weekends on my little side time. And I was a school teacher at the time. And that summer, I blew up my business and never went back to the classroom in August. And so there we are. Shortly I had to hire help, and April and Cindy are my teammates with me, and they've been with me for 10 of the 11 years. So awesome. The three of us make up our team of health coaches.
Awesome. That's great.
Very nice. And what do you think was, I don't know, you said you blew up that summer. Like what do you think was the reason behind that? Was there just that much of a need in the market, or what do you attribute that initial success to?
I mean, I really, I didn't have results at that time. I was really just diving into like knowledge and, had a lot of passion behind it. But I had a few really great people in town, a couple physicians that said, I'm going to trust you with a few people. And if you can do a good job with a few people, then I'll give you a few more. I see. And it's all been referral based. We've never put money into marketing. Oh. It's all been word of mouth marketing. And so it really was just starting with a few people and just... at that point, it was just me wanting to care about people, one person at a time. It wasn't that I had all of these degrees up on the wall, or it wasn't that I had all of these results even. I was really passionate about people, and I really just cared about people. And I really think that made the big difference at that time. Now I have results, and now I have experience, and now I have so much more education. But at that point, I think it was just really about caring about people. And yes, there's a need in the marketplace because you go to your doctor and they tell you you're sick and they tell you need to lose weight, and that's about it. Then you just go on the internet and you start searching, how am I going to do this? And so
that's a rabbit hole.
Yeah.
dark rabbit hole. Yes. Yeah. And thank you to like Pinterest, you go on looking for curtains and you end up in brownies, and it's like, It's terrible. So it's actually backfired for most people to start going down that route because it's not with any guidance or assistance.
No structure. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, no structure, and some of it's dangerous. Like you can't just do, whatever your friend on Facebook did. Like that's not necessarily what's right for you. And so it's really going, one person at a time and trying to figure out what really works for them and their lifestyle. Everybody's got different lifestyles, different metabolisms, different, situations going on. And so I think really just people, it was a service. People never thought they would hire somebody. Still to this day, they'll go hire a personal trainer. They'll hire people to do all these things, but it's really hard to wrap your brain around somebody to help you eat better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because they feel like there's so many resources out there. Like, why should I hire you if I can just go buy a cookbook?
That's true. That's true. So it seems like your mission is extremely important in the fact that your customers kind of hop on the bandwagon, if you will, of what Impact Weight Management's mission is. How do you go about bringing on your customers and kind of making them feel a part of your mission?
Yeah, we have several different resources out there of how we bring in clients. Still, our best clients are always going to be client referrals. Yeah. And client testimonials and clients talking out in the community. Even if your physician refers you, that person is still very hesitant, But if your friend or family member who has experienced it themselves refers you, it's just a much better client. It's better for all of us.
Gotcha. What hasn't worked for you in the past? I know you're mentioning, word of mouth and referrals. Have you done any other, form of marketing or anything that hasn't necessarily worked?
We haven't really tried any, like newspaper print. And I think our hesitancy there is that we just have a really hard time saying what we do, in like a newspaper print, because it's so unique that it almost backfires on us, that we try to put it out there and we end up looking like something else. People go, oh, you're just like Weight Watchers. Oh, you're just like Jenny Craig. You're just like this other thing that I tried. And so they're trying to compare us to something that they are familiar with, and there's nothing like it out there. So since we're this unique service, it makes it a little bit difficult.
Gotcha.
Out there. So yeah, I think our worst form has been clients not speaking the right language, which is why we have worked really hard on getting them to use the right verbiage and the right language. They're trying to help their friends, but we've realized like, oh man, we didn't give them the words that they need.
Right. How do you go about doing that and providing the language, if you will? Is it more of when you're doing one-on-ones with them, or just in general as far as the brand?
We have tweaked our language, among ourselves really well. And that's taken time for us to get together. Like, what is it that we really, want to say about us, and what is it that we want other people to say about us? But in our weekly meetings, as we're speaking with clients, we are, making sure that we are correcting where we need to, if their language is going down sort of maybe a diet culture. Remember, we have diet culture everywhere. So the language that we're using are things that their parents use and things that people out there in the public use all the time. So when we say things like, you did great on that test, let's go out for cupcake for a reward. We'll try to, reword those things all the time. So we're constantly rewording them, hey, can you reword that? What does that look like?
Interesting.
And how can you say that? And we've done that with our own, approach is how can we, if somebody says I came in and I had a cheat, how can they reword that without saying cheat? Because the word cheat is very diet culture. And how can you change that word to have a little bit more ownership, but not so much harshness on, I made a choice and it did make me feel good or something like that. So we work with them on, their language and the verbiage that we want them to say, so it doesn't feel like they're on this typical diet. But that's hard because everything out there, as soon as they leave our office, it's like they have 6 days of diet culture being thrown at them.
That makes sense. And that's I think that's the biggest takeaway for the people listening right now, is that your clients are oftentimes your greatest marketing and sales force. Like, they are the ones that are representing, oftentimes in industries like yourself, they're almost like a walking billboard for your services. And I think a lot of people miss out on the opportunity of training those people to go be the billboards you want, right, the billboards that you want them to be, so that they can be, so that they can bring other people into that same mission that brought them the same results. And I think that's a really good takeaway from that is, if you aren't doing it already, arm your clients, right, to be able to become your sales force with the right language and the right tools to be able to succeed in that.
That way, they can then go and kind of sell for you and speak with other people.
Right, and they can even turn like a negative when someone says to them like, tell me, you're on a diet. When are you going to be off of that diet? We've worked with them on the response of, actually, I'm not really on a diet. I'm on a life change. Like, we've worked with them on how to respond to a client that says, come on, just have a cupcake, just have one, blah, blah, blah. We've worked with them on their responses back, because a lot of it is just uncomfortable and they don't know what to say. A lot of it is a change in what they've done for the last, 40 years of their life. They've responded one way, and now we're trying to get them to respond a different way. But yeah, they can even turn that other person who will say something about, what diet are you on? And they can flip that word for them to say, right there, they can put in a one-liner for us. It's really not, we're we're trying not to be on a diet or not trying to live restricted. Or, somebody say, oh, it's too restricted. And we've already trained them to say, well, you've been living a restricted lifestyle. You just told me your clothes don't fit, that you don't sleep comfortably.
Wow.
You're all on these meds. You're not comfortable behind the camera. You won't get in the picture with your kids. And so really you're living a restricted lifestyle. I'm just restricting my food. So we've been able to like feed them into saying these things so that they can feel confident. And, we wanted to stop this, there was a little bit of shame. People have talked about it, shame in trying to make healthy choices. And so just being proud of it and bold about it. We noticed people would check in on, social media at their personal trainer, their gym, their workouts. They would check in at their doctor's office, the ER, but they wouldn't check in for us.
Wow.
And they said, I'm too embarrassed. And so this is when we decided, like, wait a minute, we don't want you to be embarrassed.
Yeah.
This is cool to be here. Good for you. Everybody should be high five. Everybody should want a health coach. Like, how cool is that? Yep. And so that's when we really realized we don't want this to be a shameful experience. We don't want this to be a place where you're embarrassed or you don't want to check in. We want this to be a place where you're like, I'm here and all of you should come here too. And so we had to really change that. Like, how can we get people? And we started asking them, how can we get you more comfortable checking in on Facebook? You just told me that you were at the ER last night. Like, you're comfortable checking in there, but you're not comfortable checking in here. So,
Absolutely.
I think another great thing to pull from all these things that you're talking about is, and we often see it sometimes as well in our industry, is that just a lot of people just don't know about certain industries and the need behind certain services. And I think y'all are doing a perfect job of educating your clients first, and then your clients then go, more than being a sales force, they're an educational force for the community, and making that change happen through education and knowledge on the topic. Because there's other industries that people don't know that they need the service until they're told, until they come to a realization that, oh, you know what, like, that's actually not a bad thing. I had all these misconceptions about it, but I think that's a great thing to. If you're in an industry that people don't know that they need you, arm your clients with the ability to educate others around them.
Yeah. And I think, we don't have to get somebody and their whole family in our doors, but if we get somebody in our doors and they can get their kids to drink more water and they can make an impact, like, the impact it shouldn't stop with us and one client. That's why our name is Impact, is we hope that they then go home and do something different, and their friends, they inspire their friends. I mean, we've talked about people that start walking groups at work, or just drinking more water, or will think twice about, bringing soda into the office, or some of these things. And so our goal is not to necessarily get every single person into the office, but to get that one person who can go out and can make somebody make a healthier choice. And, that's another thing that comes up sometimes. Well, my friend's on this other program and I'm on this program. I'm like, hey, the end goal is all for everybody to get healthy, right? So just support people on where they are in their journey. And I can tell you, the science behind what we're doing here, but your friend walks in the door and I might not put them on the same program because they are a whole,
everyone's different,
right? And so I think it's not a one size fits all. And I think we want it to be one size fits all, like when, in terms of this is how people lose weight, or this is how people get healthy. But that's just, look at us all as different people. We're not all one size fits all. And I think that is what we have to get our brain around, is for years we've been told, just exercise more, eat less, exercise more, eat less. And that just doesn't work.
Right. What would you advice would you give to a business who's starting out, who they really need that their sales force, their customers to kind of sell for them, referral based. What kind of advice would you give them on how to train their audience, if you will, their customers on that method, just starting out?
Yeah, I think about in a few sentences the words that you want to say, and even words that you want to change out of their mouth, especially if you're fighting this culture like this. Like, we literally made a list of these are common words and these are what we want them to say instead.
Nice.
And what words are, if we don't want them to use the word diet, because this has a negative connotation to it, what do we want them to use instead? And what words can we be real distinct about? But in terms of starting off, I think the main thing that whatever the industry is to dive into your customers and pour your marketing money back into them, so that they want to. And this community, especially in Gainesville, is so great about that. They want to tell you where they bought their coffee or their shoes, or they want to support all these local businesses. So, I mean, I think really just, and also letting them know, hey, this is how we grow. It's really awkward sometimes to ask for the referral, right?
Yeah.
But when you say to them, hey, you can help Gainesville get stronger and healthier by, don't you want everybody, all your family and friends to be healthy and happy? Don't be embarrassed about it. Like, be proud of it. So I think asking for that referral sometimes is really awkward for people. They feel like they're trying to give a sales pitch. It doesn't need to be a sales pitch. Just letting them know how much you would appreciate that. And that's how we get a stronger community, because don't you want everybody to be healthy and strong around you?
Yep. Your customers don't need to sell for you. They just need to be able to market for you in general.
Right, right. And they need to know that that's how you grow.
Absolutely.
I love that. And one thing that you touched on previously that I want to kind of end on is you talked about referral partners, not just your customers, but those physicians and everything like that. I think most people that are trying to grow their business are looking at ways to grow the referral partners. How have you found a way to do that organically that grows relationships with those referral partners and they feel more comfortable being able to refer people to you?
Yes. And so I used to, when we talk about cross marketing, I used to think like within the health and wellness industry, right? Like, okay, let me find personal trainers that can refer to me and I can refer back to them. I don't need to be a jack of all trades. I just need to be the master of this one thing. And they can work on the exercise part and I can work on this part. Or physicians, right? But then I started to expand out into the wellness, like, well, what about acupuncturists and massage therapists? And then, wait a minute, isn't everything like pretty much related to health? Like everybody knows somebody who could be healthy. So why am I selling myself short in terms of limiting myself into this industry? If I want to connect with a car detailing service,
why not?
They know people that want to get healthy, and I know people that need their car detailed. So why can't we just all work together? So a lot of the cross-marketing and supporting pretty much anybody, I can tie it all back in. And so most industries we can tie back in, but those are great. You have to dive into them, and you have to give them something back. I think that's what can I do for you? What can I do for your customers, and what can you do for my customers? And that's been huge for us. We do one big customer appreciation week every year. We kind of settled in on that is like one way to pour into our customers, and we literally pour into our customers for that whole week. But we reach out to other businesses. Hey, we've got this whole week going on. I want to provide something for you. We piggyback it off of Small Business Saturday, so it's like a perfect timing. I'm going to give you a gift to give away. Can you give me a gift to give away? Nice. Let's grow together.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah, it's really fun, and we highlight everybody's business. They highlight us back. I mean, that's the goal, is to highlight back and forth. Yeah. And so it's been great to just realize that I don't have to be so stuck. And sometimes the health and wellness industry isn't where my target market is anyways. They're not hanging out in the health and wellness industry.
That's true.
Yeah. Maybe I need to connect with the donut shop, because maybe they're hanging out there. Maybe they're hanging out at the, they're not always at the chiropractor, even though they need to be there. But maybe they are getting their car detailed. Maybe they are doing something else. And so where can I pull from? And I really can pull from, in our industry, we can connect with everybody.
Absolutely. Giver's Gain is extremely powerful.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming on the show today. Where can people find more information about you and Impact Weight Management?
Yeah. So our website's a great place to start at iwmgainesville.com. You can find us on social. Impact is on Facebook and on Instagram. You can always follow me personally on Instagram at Real Life with Rose. Lots of fun recipes and just good, hopefully positive and inspiring, healthy, motivational stuff there.
Awesome.
Oh, I do have a TikTok. My TikTok is fun too. Lots of fun recipes, and everything's under a minute. If you guys know me, like under a minute is like,
that's tough.
Yes, that was a world record.
Yeah, what's the handle? What's the TikTok handle?
What's the TikTok handle?
Lettuce.eat00. My kids made up my handle. And let us eat.
Let us eat.
Awesome. You have to find it. Yeah, but I've had a couple TikToks go crazy, things that I didn't think would go crazy, like fried pickles and whatever. But there's a lot of really good healthy ones. You can go on there for the fried pickles, and they're not that unhealthy. There's a healthy version of fried pickles, but lots of fun, just really good healthy recipes in there.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
All right, thanks.
Hey everyone, I hope you enjoyed that episode. This is Jason. I'm the producer for the Short Marketing Show. I got a special question for you. Do you know someone who you think would be a great guest on our show? I mean, hey, it might even be you. Send us an email over at info@shortmediagroup.com, and you or your pick might just be selected to be a guest on a future episode. Until then, guys, if you enjoyed this conversation today, we invite you to continue the conversation by joining our Facebook community, Gainesville Business Marketing. Guys, we made this group especially for business owners and everyday marketers to have a conversation, to join each other, overcome your marketing struggles, find tactics that bring real results, and to seek advice from local experts like you heard from today. So, we hope you join our Facebook community, Gainesville Business Marketing, and until next time, thanks for listening.